Continuous learning is the minimum requirement for success in any field. On today's live, we shall be looking at education beyond the four walls. My name is Joyce Jakada. We are live on Facebook and YouTube at Equa Television. You can do well to join the conversation. Our WhatsApp group is active. You can do well to drop your comments as well. I'm not doing this alone. I have amazing people here as always. Engineer Tony Jane Akali, Sambu Solomon.
Yes.
Pretty Fruitless Burger.
Pretty on set. Pretty on set.
Thank you.
My mother said, this food, she's always laughing. She's laughing. I said she's from Gombe State.
Well,
Happy people.
on Christ the solid rock I stand.
All other ground is sinking sand. Let me finish it for you if you can't finish it. All other ground is sinking sand.
All other ground is sinking sand.
My hope is built
On
on
nothing else.
Then Jesus Christ, the solid rock.
Wow.
Is the remix now?
Oh, wow. Well, let's talk about education beyond the four walls. Like we're conversing and he said, Joyce, in the next 5 years or less than 5 years, it's going to be about skills and talents. That's what is going to stand people out. Skills and talent beyond the qualification. People have said, show me a nation that is educated. Then you're telling me a nation that has, like when it comes to development, they are at the forefront. And now education is being defined beyond paper qualification, but what you can offer. Because today, even when you go to the school, if you're not willing and ready to learn, like create time to learn, then you end up graduating and then just going out with the paper. Yes, at the end of the day, give you the paper. It comes in different grades. First class, 2-1, 2-2, or let my people just go, and all of that. But what is standing out now is what can you offer? Skills and talents are taking over. And that's why this person, I think in the next 5 years, it will be about skills and talents and not really about the paper qualification. As good as the paper is, if you can't defend it, then you'll be nowhere. On the table where discussions are taking place and all of that. And I think we should talk beyond the four walls.
The rudiments of education is important, and people should be able to know the importance of education. People should know the importance of education. What that means is the education system or the educational system is built upon the memorization of information. And today you have kids doing their homework, their assignments with the help of Google and Siri. Hey Siri, what is this plus this plus this?
I found this on the web for
Siri was darky.
See, Siri is responding. Shut up, Siri, we're on live TV. See, so when you say that, you get your answers. And you can type anything on Google. Whatever math, whatever economics, whatever difficulty you have in English, there are suggestive terms. It tells you this is American English, this is European English, this is this English. It tells you different types, and it tells you which one is the right one, and all you need to do is to copy it and put it right there. But does that make you intellectual at the end of the day? That they passed you in a class, does it make you intellectual? We are busy bothered about, no, go and finish this, write your thesis, do this one and do that one. And let me even shock you. When people are writing all of these things, they get people to write it for them, and then they submit it, and then you say that they have graduated with this category of result, this category of result, that category of result, and then they come out and we are facing them.
And we are still where we are today as a nation with...
Joyce, we are facing them.
Hmm.
Let me explain that them that I'm just saying. If you go to the hospital, you see a doctor talking to you and he's checking something on the phone. Yeah, I'm listening. Does he itch? Okay. Do you cough? You don't cough. He's talking to you. That's a doctor that I took my life to you.
Hmm.
I took my life to you. A lady told me how that she went through what is this surgery? Fibroid. And you know they don't you don't go to sleep right now. You are up and they just keep doing it and the place is numb. You don't feel the pain. And she saw this lady with her phone while the surgery was going on. You hear people die in hospitals of things that would have been taken care of. Why? Because someone went through these 6 years that you asked. And now you have given the lives of people. Because the person went through the 4 walls of education to study medicine. There was a time in a country, if you had, I think it was China, I can't remember now. You can't hold me to that, but I can't remember the country. But if 10 people die within a period of time, your license was seized as a doctor. And if someone dies, they will do an autopsy to find out the cause of death. Was it curable? Yes. Why couldn't you cure it? That's just the medical system. There are so many facets. People do business. They cheat you in the business. You lose a lot of money. You go to the court. They take 100,000. They give the lawyer. They share it, and the case is turned out in their own favor. Is that education? You went to study something, and now we are asking you, it's time to practice what you studied. But it's the other way around. It's based on what I can get, not what I can do to prove that truly I really studied this and I'm making waves in this area. And that is why you see people going into shoemaking. You see people going into... my youngest daughter recently just told me that she wants to start learning tailoring. I was like, wow. In fact, what she said, she knows me. So she said, Daddy, I want to tell you something. Please don't say no. Okay, just forget about it. You won't say yes. I said, no. Okay, I said, you were there. She said, no. She said, Daddy, I know. Just forget about it. I said, what? She said, I want to learn tailoring, but I know you know. I said, wow, how much is it? She was shocked. I said, go and learn it. We have someone that the world is busy shouting about that she cooked for 4 days. Abi? Who knows if she's done with tailoring? She'll come and sew Ekwa president's wife cloth and will say made by. If Ekwa president's wife is watching, there is a tale of growing. You know, so we have people that are thinking, of course she wants to be a doctor. That's what she wants. But there are people that are growing to say, yes, I want to acquire that thing that my family wants. That thing that makes every family proud in Nigeria. Oh, you are a communication expert, you are a doctor, you are a journalist, you are a this. Oh, that's fine. But I know people who went to study medicine, but they are not making anything out of it. Their side hustle is giving them much more money. So I think that people limiting themselves with what they learned in school is phased out. In case you are watching, it's phased out. It doesn't work anymore, Joyce. It doesn't work anymore, Joyce. Because you see someone, they will tell you, look, I'm a graduate, but I'm doing this because what work in Nigeria will give me 200,000 a month now. This gives me more than that.
You see, it's really true that education is really not just about the 4 walls of a school environment or university, whatever it is. You know how we have a lot of institutions. So, but interestingly, since I started school, from primary school, secondary school, through the in university, my mom keeps telling me that when you go to school, when we send you to school, we are not telling you to go and learn what just learn what they're telling you in school. Rather, we are telling you to learn behavior. We are telling you to learn emotional intelligence. We are telling you to learn a lot of other things. So when you're going to school, you're learning other things as well. So when you come out and the society is saying that, okay, no, this person is a packaged deal. He or she has essence in him because this is the kind of person that they say in school, the school went through you. You're drilled. So when you come out, you're giving out your best. But what we find in our day to day, what we find in schools is that you find students paying for their degrees. You find students paying for their A levels, their O levels. People are paying. Parents are coming to pay up. If a parent gives the money and the student doesn't get what he or she is expecting, they'll come back and say, no, I paid you this much amount of money, you need to give my child a good grade. And that's what we find in schools. So at the end of the day, when this child is coming out, probably the child even knows a little bit in his head, but then corruption, because he knows that, okay, so my parents did this, that means that must be the right thing. He's already learned something different. So what behaviors are you learning from? That too is education. What characters are you picking along the way? That too is education. So education is not just sitting in the classroom and then a lecturer or a teacher is talking to you and telling you, no, history is all about this and that, or government is about democratic government, is the government for the people, by the people, and all that. No, that's not what education is. Education is that you're learning, continuously learning. Every single day you wake up, there's something new to learn. My mom likes drumming this into our ears. You learn every day. Till you die, you keep on learning. There are new things that will come up and you still learn. So learning, and there was an episode that I don't really remember, but we were talking about learning and unlearning. And that too is in it. It's a step to education, because when you learn this, and if you know that this is the wrong thing that you're learning, you have to unlearn it. That too is education. So education is like a very vast concept or sector that people have underrated and degraded in this country, especially. We don't take education seriously. I know people would want to disagree with me, but that's the truth. We don't take education seriously. People just want to hear that, oh, my child finished first position, when your child's aggregate or your child's average is maybe like 50 something, and because they don't have quality education in the class, the person is getting first position. Or my child is coming 31st, that's one position 31st, and he's not, and his average is like 60 something, and you think that your child is not doing well. That's the book knowledge I'm talking about this time around. So there are a lot of things that we find faulty in our education system, especially here in this country. But and that's belittling us a lot. So when you see children outside, you find that they think life is just an easy road, something that you don't really need to work hard. You can get what you want so long as you can pay up. And that's nasty education for children.
Yeah, you see, this four wall of a thing, I look at it from this part of the world, like Africa, and then you narrow it down to Nigeria, where we are. I just see it as is it a calculated, should I say, is a calculated effort for this part of the country to be given something different? Reasons are, if you look at it from the African, the part of Africa, it's like the kind of education we practice is different from the one that the Western world practice. And you ask yourself, why? How are they getting it right? And then we are not getting it. And then several times I hear government coming with their policies, the international relationship, talking about countries sharing ideas, doing business, doing things together. And you will hear something they call is it technology shift or something? I didn't get it right, but yeah, the word. But it's something like, okay, you give us this, and then you give us the. I will remember before the show ends. Like, don't just give us just the top, but let's know the nitty-gritty of how things have been done. Like, let's get involved in these processes, how from the scratch, not from the top. That's when we are coming, because it's just like they will just come and then they will give you the top, and then you are there. And most time you find people from this part of the world struggling with it. And then because I look at this part, what we are being given is a cramming method. Believe me, if your brain is sharp, you can cram. You're good. All these memory verses in school, that's when you see all these children in church. Just look at it critically. All these young the kids church, that are doing well in children's church, that memorize very well. Check their performance.
They don't know the word of God.
But they memorize it. But check their performance in school. They are doing well. Because whatever the teacher, they can just memorize it. And if that's what he wants in the book, they will give him back to back during the exam.
Has the best graduating students.
Sure. Because already that memorizing whatever. But if you look at it in the other part of the world, it is a kind of solution driven kind of a school. They tell you that, okay, when you are put in this situation, like think, they call it critical thinking. That's how they do. Okay, think on your own. And that's why out there you'll find out they will give you the textbook. If you want to copy. Yes, it's there. They will give you the textbook. Not here that they will search you like in and out, simply because they feel you will copy from the textbook. But there they will give you the textbook. If you copy, they know. Because they want to see how intelligent, how smart are you, even creating solution better than the person that wrote that and give you a guide. In our own case, here is different. But if you look at it, like you rightly said, education is good. Education is important because, in life general, we all have our own beginning, like from the ta-ta-ta, to learning how to talk, from knowing how to form sentence, to communicate. That is in the family. But this time around, they are trying to open your mind to the outer world. First, you start with your immediate community and family, to the community, and then take you to the larger society. And now we are talking global. Everything now is global. So you want to see how things are happening in United States, how things are happening in Europe. Why is it different in Africa?
Education is so good, Sambo Solomon. It's so good that everybody should strive for it. Because in the true sense of the word, when you say education, it's just an opportunity for you to add knowledge. And that is what everybody should strive for. That is what differentiates countries that are developed and countries that are underdeveloped. Because if you add knowledge, then you apply it, then solutions are being profiled to problems and challenges. That's the essence of education. But it's just so sad that on this part of the world we have degraded what education is. We have dropped the quality of even education. And that is why today you find parents paying for someone else to write exams for their children. That is why today you see students that will just buy admission and even just pay their way through lecturers to just get the certificate, and they turn out from school and they're saying, oh, can you help write this report? And the person is saying, sir, I'm not good with English, I'm just good with mathematics. You are a graduate, but you can't write a report. You get. So what was the essence of the 4 walls that you went through? And that's why we're saying education is supposed to be a solution to problems. It's supposed to help us to answer questions that seems difficult, that will make us better. But at the end of the day, you see people turning out of these 4 walls not being able, that they are not solutions to existing problems. Today we have leaders that are in offices, but there are no ideas. So how can we like learn beyond these forwards. I tell you, Sambus Norman, today, if you go to school, if you are not willing to help teach yourself, if you are not ready to learn to educate yourself, then you pass through that 4 walls and you come out with that certificate and you can't do anything. Because even some of the teachers we have today, like, it is, when you check the lesson plan, is the lesson plan of or whatever scheme they are following of 10, 20 years ago. And we're in a technology age that things are changing. So you have to keep upgrading, you have to keep studying, you have to keep acquiring knowledge, you have to keep improving. But people will come, just give me your lesson notes of primary this or of just, and they copy the same thing and they teach the same thing. In my 100 level, one of the white man that was teaching us basic English was like, Nigerian teachers at primary and secondary school level are poor English speakers. And so when he's there teaching us a rudiment, I was just wondering if I had ever come across the word English as a subject. Because there are a lot of things that were taught that were not, like, when you check some of the words, the pronunciation, we just use our own language to pronounce it and do all of that. And today you just, like, wow. So can we build ourselves to the point that we don't limit ourselves to that 4 walls? Can you strive to be different? Can you be determined to learn? So that, as important as the certificate is, because it will pave way for you, whether we live in a world or in a country where, as far as the system is concerned, when there's an opportunity, what do you have? They go through this certificate and all of that. As important as it is, can you tell yourself that beyond these 4 walls, I want to be a solution? How can I do it? It means I should be ready, I should be open to learn.
You know, in this part of the world, particularly in Nigeria, it's very, very difficult. Difficult in the sense that you look at, you know, just what we mentioned, starting from even the kindergarten to nursery to primary school and then to secondary school, how even parents now are behaving. Like, you see somebody going, meeting the form master, trying to buy whatever, so that at the end of the day, during the, what do you call it, speech and prize giving day, you know, your child can be called, you know, and the
keeping in the school.
So when you tell your parents that your speech and prize is next week, as you go and disgrace myself, other children are going to collect gift. You are telling me to come. Would you collect gift if you are not?
I have tried several times to let my children know that success in life is not based upon education. Because we know people who have made it in life that education never went through them. They never went through the system.
Yes.
And the confusing part is when you try to allow schooling to interfere with your education. That is one other big thing that we don't take cognizance into. Sir, what you learn on your own, no school can teach you. If they could, they would have. They cannot. That is why they didn't. So it is good, like Joyce rightly said from the beginning of the show, it's good to acquire that knowledge. The knowledge that stands you out. I don't think there is a school where you learn how to make a car, but we have cars today. There is no school where you learn how to make a ship, but we have ship today. There is no school where you learn how to make aeroplane, but these things are, they just teach you basic technology in sciences, basic technology in arts, basic technology. So it's left of you to go and expatiate and know what to do. Yes, there can be a fashion school, but there is no school where you graduate with Dolce and Gabbana certificate. There's none. There are schools you go to, you don't come out with FUBU as a result. No. Sir, people just see school as a place where you go and you get everything. It's not so. In fact, what you get from school is 10% what you need in life. That's if it's that much. It's like 10% what you need in life. Haven't you wondered that the woman roasting corn by the street is lending money to someone working in the bank? Or a medical doctor is borrowing money from a vulcanizer. So there are these traits. I'm not too happy with the issue of work. Then you get paid at the end of the month. Work. I don't like that idea. I like the idea that you turn money over every day. And rich people are aware of this, so they will not bring that knowledge to people. That is why you see entrepreneurship is striving real hard to disgrace the so-called white-collar job. And so people are dying to be like, my son has finished school, he doesn't have anything to do. How can your son graduate from university and not have anything to do? What did he go to do in the university? There are people watching this show right now, they are like, what is this man saying? The person who designed the car that we are using without battery now, what is his qualification? The person that is designing these phones that we're using, what is his qualification? The person that is designing the computers that we're using, what is his qualification? The person that is making the clothes that we're wearing, what is his qualification? Then bring it down to the woman that makes food for you at the government house as a governor that you eat every day. What is her qualification? Do you care? Can she cook? Yes. That's the woman we are looking for. Who cares about what you studied? This is not to say children should not go to school. This is not to say people should not go to school, but know that when you go to school, what you are going to be given is not compared to anything you are going to be facing when you are done. Why do they say there are so many people roaming the streets of Nigeria without jobs? Well, like I said on the show one time, we are not unemployed in Nigeria or in Africa. We are underemployed. Because right now in this job, there's somebody that is looking for somebody that will work as a sales girl for 15,000 a month. That's an employment. There is somebody that if you can go and do stuff, they can give you 10,000 a month. That's employment. There are people that are looking for cleaning jobs. That's employment. But people are saying, how can I, as a graduate, do this work? Even parents are saying, they know now, they have heard that this company is hiring, that company is hiring. But they are not willing for their children to go there. Because prestige, that word prestige, is not found in such companies. So there are people, when you travel around this world and you see how what people do to make money, it will shock you, sir. It will shock you. Somebody built a very high chair. You sit down, you put your arms, and then he's polishing your shoe at an airport. And I think it's $10 or $20 or so. Somebody kept a very big massage machine in that same airport. When you are done, you go and sit down, they massage you for $10 or $20. And then you move. That's somebody's business. What school would teach you that? What school? Some people stop you. Go to Facebook and see. Go to all these platforms. See what people are creating and are selling. And some people will be like, you graduated from the university. You won't go and look for work. Us and this go and look for work in Africa. Go and look for work. You are here doing this. Sir, what school would teach you how to cook for 4 days? What school? What school, even in Nigeria, will teach you how to sing? But we have superstars in Nigeria that emanated from platforms of singing. So our parents should not just look at, you must see that lawyer, but if you can't escape it, you must be lawyer. You'll be the second lawyer in this family. The guy is saying he wants to be a carpenter. I told you how my son, or I think it was this way. He said he wanted to be a carpenter. I was about eating. I dropped it. I said, what did you say? He said, no, I'm not talking about roofing or this kind of, no. Look at chairs like this. They are made by carpenters. And we were forced to go and buy it. Very expensive. That's what he's thinking. So what school will go and teach you how to do that? Sir, all you need is the knowledge for people not to look down on you. But any other thing that your hands are laid upon to do it. While people are complaining, you start from the thousands, you get to getting it in the hundreds. Before you know it, you're in the millions. Before you know it, interviews everywhere. Before you know it, you are not accessible. What school in Nigeria is teaching you how to do comedy?
I think now they even realize the importance of skill acquisition, and that is why government are trying to even channel resources.
No, they should not channel it. We don't want.
Because
we don't want. We want to hustle on our own so that they will not come and take the credit.
In fact, even in the educational system, courses like entrepreneurship have been introduced.
Joyce,
so
their children don't want to go to the lab and be that lab technicians that they study. Their children don't want to go to look at Fals, the musician. He's a lawyer. But he's singing.
Yes.
So what this guy got in 10 years of his career, how many lawyers, including San in Nigeria, have that? No, how many? Let's be realistic. Let's be factual. Your son will wake up and say, I want to be a pastor. You say, God forbid. Pastors are poor. God forbid.
A lady wanted to get married to a pastor, and then her dad said, I did not send you to school for you to end up being a Sunday school teacher.
Just imagine. But sir,
mentality.
You know what? We have missionaries they don't have time once in a year. They travel around this country doing stuff. It depends on how you just view that thing that you want to do.
You want to be.
So education, we're talking about the 4 walls. No, just start thinking outside the 4 walls. Even when you are in the 4 walls, you start thinking outside the 4 walls. Then is that where you are thinking is what gives you the ability to become that thing that you have seen. Because if you have not seen it, there is no way fluke can take you there. Fluke cannot take you there. Chance cannot take you there. No, it's determination, hard work. I keep imagining the richest man in Africa has never prayed in Jesus' name. He's of a different religion. His religion has no business praying in the name of Jesus. I think the second richest man too. Elon Musk. I don't think these people believe in God. But they are controlling the wealth of the country, of the world. The 60 top richest men in the world. The 60 top richest men in the world. They are not people who sat in class and someone taught. No. And yes, their money put together, most of which are Americans. Their money put together is more than the money owned by half bottom the population of the world. Yet, half bottom the population of the world are the people that are still in school, struggling to gain admission. Do you not know that there are families in Nigeria who use everything they have to send their children abroad to school? Some of these children end up being drug addicts. Some of them come back and there is nothing. I saw one boy in Lagos at an E3. They were sending, he was mad. But guess what? How could you throw me out? What's wrong with you? He's not faking the accent. He was brought back. Nobody needed to tell you that. He's a junkie. Looking at him, you know that this is a junkie. He doesn't speak our kind of English here. Do you know how much it costs to take someone abroad to study? And then you come back to be a pitiful stuff. Sir, everybody should embrace the hustle that is meant for their heart. The hustle that you believe, embrace it. Somebody is saying, go to Tony Nakali and learn camera work. Now, God forbid. God forbid. Meanwhile, there is a cameraman that is kept for 5 years with a calendar. You are shooting all this Premier League, this championship, this one. This is what you are doing for the next 5 years. This is your responsibility. And they are paying him multi-million naira, dollars and pounds and euros. He's a cameraman. He's a camera operator. But they are telling him in the next 5 years, this is your calendar. So he has maybe 2-3 days in a month, 3-4 days in another month. But he's a cameraman. and they are flying him on business class or private jets to go and shoot
The
games, shoot
matches
matches back to back. Like this one, you shoot this one, you are done shooting this one, you are with super sports. It's the same profession that someone said is not going, God forbid. There is someone, his job is to sit down and design for the president of a particular country. Another person said, God forbid that my son is called a tailor. There is someone that without him, the car of the governor of the state cannot move. They will look for him to fix it. Someone said, God forbid for me to be a mechanic. There is a carpenter. Right now, they are trying to furnish a very big organization. No, go and look for that guy. He's the one. I'm busy. Okay, next week we should have you. My son cannot be a carpenter.
The question is,
go and get, yes, Joyce, go and get education, finish university, do this one, then you can come and do whatever you want.
What are you passionate about? Like, what are you passionate beyond the four walls? Like, I know a young lady that's graduated from the higher institution. She had her master's, and like for years she kept traveling from one state to the other looking for job and all of that. Yet she'll go for interviews, spend money and all. And so she just decided, let me just learn this makeup. Let me learn how to braid. And it was in the course of this, her makeup and all of that, she got an employment at House of Tara. And like right now, this was just her skill beyond the forward. She's right now a boss, what I would define as a boss on her own. So beyond that qualification, beyond the forwards, what are you passionate about? What can you think of what you can use your hands and do? My younger brother has lately got admission. I was like, oh, congratulations to you, but hope you know that beyond, like, you can't just go that you are in school, like you're leaving, just you're going to school, then maybe lectures 2 or 3 times a week. So what happened to the remaining 2 days, 3 days? You have to think of what you will do in that school. If not, before you know, sooner or later you're introduced to this, you're introduced to that. We have a lot of young people, you see, they spend half of the week, they are in school. Drug addiction, robbery, and all of that. The Bible says an idle man is the devil's workshop. So you have to think, yeah, congratulations, but what would you do beyond the attending of lectures and all? Year in, year out, Nigeria, like, or worldwide, graduates turn out from school. We hear 40% of people are unemployed and all of that. There are opportunities out there. Can you think outside the four walls? How can I, like, be better? Today you have people that will boast, oh, I'm educated, yet character zero. Some institution will say, oh, we train in learning and in character, but apparently you see graduate littered around without character. So how do you expect to be employed? So I think, like we are emphasizing, important education is important. The four walls might be a rudiment to wherever you are headed, but think outside the box. That job you're looking down on, with the education, you can do it differently. Why do we have mechanical engineers that are graduates, like can't like unable to fix little things in their cars? They have to go down to the street to look. Today we have electrical engineers that will have to call the electricians on the street to come and fix. So that's to tell you that, see, what you're just getting in this school, if you're not open to learn, then you just turn out with just the paper and you make no impact in your world and in your time.
You know, earlier I said in this part of the world is difficult. It's difficult in the sense that it's the system, our system, and even our leaders are not even helping.
But how long will you keep blaming?
But that's the point that I want to make. You know, you have to find your purpose. You have to find your purpose. Define who you are. What exactly do you want? Yes, we know parents, have their own expectation to when it comes to their children. I want you to be this. I want to carry the family name, this and that and the rest. And then when you go back and then you see how our leaders behave, you understand. Like this issue of cooking. Yes, it's something good. It's something that you applaud her. Yes, she has put in so much time and energy to even train herself, to rehearse, to plan, to make that show that she display. But you find other people that are doing other things, outside the cooking, whatever, that they are adding to the GDP of this country. But hardly you find governors calling them governors visiting them. You know, but in this case, you have the vice president calling her, you know, governors left, right, center, everybody is. We want to see that coming down. Where is that mechanic that is someone that is somewhere that didn't go through that four wall and he's doing something extra? Can a governor walk down to that street, that ghetto, and look at that person? You understand? There's this lady that, you know, we interview her. She's a lady mechanic, but today, as we are talking, you know, Equa TV, to the glory of God, one of our show which you introduced, what's the name of this show?
Make It Happen.
Make It Happen. You know that we interview her. You remember that lady? Now she's working with Dangote.
Wow.
As a supervisor.
Awesome.
As a supervisor.
She was a mechanic, right?
Yes. You sent us to her. You remember? Yes. That we went and interviewed her. From there, you know, people pick interest. Pujo now pick interest on her. Pick her. I think across the country there were just 5 that there were 8 that they were picked up in the whole Nigeria for Pujo to train them. After then, she went to Algeria, and then from Algeria she came back, and then Dangote picked her.
Wow.
And then she's doing well today, you know. And then, if you remember, she's struggling in school in the 4 walls that we are talking about. You know, how can you identify such people, you know, from the grassroots, from the ghetto, you know, and change their story? And then sometimes when you are determined, and then you want to push, you want to do something extra, but you are choked in the sense that in the classroom where you are, let's take university for instance, when you see everybody trying to cut corners by grades, what is coming in your mind? If truly you want to be the best in that department that you are, that means whatever they are teaching you, you have to put extra. So that whatever books you are reading, someone will come and read your book again, because you have brought something extra on it. You get it. And then you just look at it and add value, because when you look at when a lecturer in the whole semester come to lecture you 3 times and he set exam for you, it's not easy. You start asking yourself,
and
how
he
would
expects you to say things you were never taught.
And he entered just 3 times. One, he will just come and just give you the breakdown.
And
the next one, he will just come and make the introduction. The next time you will see him is test.
Exams.
The next one is his exam. He doesn't care.
In fact, I had an experience like that the lecturer just came and gave course outline. Okay, he didn't even give course outline, so we didn't see him almost throughout. Back then I was doing diploma, and then eventually when he came, it was a week to the exam, so he just gave the areas of concentration, and they were exactly the 4 questions that he said for the exams, because okay, you know that you didn't show up, so, and what excuse would you have? And that is it. So if you're not determined,
so it's not easy from the side of the student. You know, you see, this is somebody that's supposed to impact in you, and this is his behavior towards you, and then they ask you for money to give you handout. They ask you for money to give you grade. At the end of the day, like you said, I want to learn. We are faced with them in all aspects of life. We are faced with them. Can you be extra? Can you be determined? Do something different. And I ask myself this question: why is it that we struggle here, but when Nigerians go out there, you hear them breaking records
because
GDP,
because out there the atmosphere is made simplified for everything you want to do. And I think it's time we take the thoughts of the week. Thoughts for the week.
Learning is not all about the 4 walls of a classroom. Rather, it is a lifetime investment to growth.
education goes beyond shaping us as individuals and enhancing our perspectives. It can help you become a better citizen and build a better society.
You can forget what you learn in school, but education remains.
So that was the thoughts for the week, and I do hope that you're going to keep that ringing in your head as you continue your week. And well, that's about the much we can take on today's life, this beautiful, beautiful day. We don't want to leave you, but we have to. We just have to. Well, that's it for today, and I do hope that you remember that education is not just about the four walls of the school or the institution that you find yourself in. Rather, education is a learning process that takes time and energy. You have to be dedicated to it to be educated. Truth of the matter, truth to be told. Well, that's it on today's live this morning, and I do hope that you have a nice, lovely day ahead of you. Bye for now.